G'day, Chief. Welcome to the Inner Chief podcast and this special episode, which we call the Mini Chief. These are short, sharp highlights from our fabulous guests, where you get a 5 to 10 minute snapshot from their episode. Righto, Chief. Without further ado, here is the Mini Chief episode for this week with Paul Nicolaou, Executive Director of Business Sydney.
I learnt my networking skills also through when John Howard was the Prime Minister. I used to do all the fundraising for him.
Oh, right.
And we'd go to a big event, and then I would, after the dinner, he'd want to work the room and say hello to as many people, and I'd have a photographer behind me because those days we didn't have mobile phones with cameras. And so I had a photographer. So, well, the Prime Minister would say, well, Paul, which direction you want to go out and engage? And I'd say, well, let's go this way. So he would walk off and he'd go up to the tables and he'd say hello to everyone on the table, right? But he would come across someone, he would say, Greg, now I know that name and I know that person, but I don't know where he's from, or do you know his partner's name? So he'd whisper in my ear and say, listen, Greg, I know Greg, but what's his partner's name? And I would then go, so I'd have to go to my Palm Pilot or subsequently, Blueberry to get that information. Yeah. And then I would feed it to him, right?
Yes.
The person, Greg, would feel so unbelievably excited the fact that he remembered his name, but also remembered his partner's name. And John Howard was very good at it. He didn't do it all the time because he had a photographic memory as well, right? And he was fantastic at that. So I saw how he used to network, and he used to say hello to everyone, shake their hand, look them in the eye, and really show some empathy and sympathy towards the person, and also wanting to engage. And that was one of John Howard's great attributes. He knew who people were, he knew something about them, but he was always willing to engage and say hello. So I think that's important as part of your networking as well. So when you meet people, you look them in the eye and you say hello to them, make the effort to engage and interact in some shape or form. And people really like that. And you should do that all the time. You know, if someone comes up to you and you're sitting down, stand up and shake them in the hand, look them in the eye. You know, little things like that. I always still carry business cards around, which I think is really important because it breaks the ice, you know. A lot of people say, oh, no, I've got the digital stuff. Yeah, it's fine. But sometimes the digital stuff doesn't always work.
People don't always want to write down your number.
And everyone goes, oh, but you got me on LinkedIn. Well, on LinkedIn, there's no mobile phone. There's no office address. There might be a personal email address, and then that's it, right? Yeah. But then the other thing is too, you're going to a lift, and there's 12 people or 8 people in the lift. You can't just say, look, pull out your phone and we'll connect. It's easy. I just pull out my card and hand it to people. And you're at a funeral or a wedding or something like that where it's inappropriate to sort of be engaged, and you can just flick someone the business card. So that's another thing that I always think is really important, because you know what, you never know who you bump into. Like, you never know, right? I bumped in the Reserve Bank governor the other day, and I didn't hand out the card, but I would have handed over my card. I did that with the former Reserve Bank governor over at Number 1 Bly. He was there, and I went up to him and said, listen, you wouldn't know who I am, but Paul Nicolaou. I'm with blah, blah, blah. And I'd love to do an event with you. And if you want to, here's my card, and reach out. And he said he would, but we didn't get it because he left by that stage. But the point is, you just never know where you're going to be and who you're going to bump into, right? I've got business cards in my wife's wallet, in the car, in every suit. Right, so you have your pocket. I've got my business cards here just to prove that there you go. Right, I had mine here. Yeah, I've got them in the side pocket here. Most suits have a little side pocket at the bottom. Everyone goes, oh, that's where I put my mobile phone, or that's where I put my phones, or that's where I put loose change. I said, no, it's there for a quick handout, because when people carry business cards in their wallet, right, and they're trying to find an old tattered business card, and I then say to people, listen, I take Amex, MasterCard, Visa if you want. Laugh, right? It's like saying that. And also sometimes it looks really unprofessional because they pull out the wallet out of their backside when it should be in their suit coat. And I always say, look, just to look professional. So you always got to look professional when you're engaging with people, when you go to events. Another thing is too, Greg, I've got the 3P principle. And this is something that the Honourable Stephen Lucy, who used to be the Federal Director of the Labor Party and then the former Senator for New South Wales for the Labor Party, said, and I like this, when you go to an event, right, and we all go to events all the time, he said the 3 Ps principle. Firstly, you want to say hello to 3 people you know in the room. You then want to say hello to 3 new people, and you want to pick up 3 ideas or 3 thoughts or 3 things that you didn't know. Because when you go to, I go to events nearly every night, right? Every night I'm out and about. And you can't go and say hello to everyone in the room. Impossible, impossible. So you've got to be strategic in when you're in networking in a room, right? And I really like the 3P principle because you want to meet 3 new people, right? That's imperative. You're going to say hello to 3 people, right? And that's also important because when you do go to an event, you at least want to, because you're not going to always see people. I mean, I literally walk up and down Martin Place every day to just say hello to people because you're not going to see, you can't see everyone all the time. So if you can at least say hello, stop, have a chat, tick the box, you've said hello to someone that you haven't seen for a long time, right? So when you're in a room and there's 400 people or 500 people or 50 people, you want to at least leave an impression and you also want to walk away because, you know, you're not going to get those 2 hours or 3 hours back again, right? So you got to be really strategic in your engagement at events.
I think the little bit that goes, which I know you bring, is the curiosity. If it goes back to the mindset we spoke about before, is, gee, 3 people, I don't know what the hell to say to 3 people. Well, be curious about how you can help them.
Listen to them.
Yeah, just listen.
That's right. Don't go and...
You don't have to have the answer yourself.
No, it's exactly right. And the good thing about it is it's always hard because I can talk all night, and if I've had 3 cappuccinos, it's even day. But the thing is, people they want you to listen to them.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the hardest bit. And if you can just listen rather than berate them with all these different things and so on, then they won't want to pay attention because you want to really show empathy and sympathy towards them, and you want to hear from them rather than you talking. And once they've exhausted their event, that's when you can then start talking to people.
You just have to be thinking, and I might not be able to help this person. No idea, but maybe just one connection. Well, maybe that might help, right? And then you're giving to more than one person. And then the network will always pay you back.
Look, I appreciate a lot of business people need to think about, well, what can I get out of this?
Yeah, sure.
Right? I get that. I get that. Yeah. But sometimes people think that they should get instant gratification or instant satisfaction or instant, results, but that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's a competitive world. Every day is a challenge. Every day is an opportunity. But if you can start off thinking, all right, well, what could I give back rather than what you can get out of it? A lot of people think, well, I want to get something out of it first. That ain't going to happen. And if you do get it, it's by pure luck and by pure chance that's happened. You've got to really build a relationship. Look, there are many occasions where I would get members on board at Business City, right? It might take me 12 months to bring someone in as a member, but I've got to work at it. You got to work at it. People aren't going to join membership straight away. I don't have, little widgets going to help someone produce a phone or a car or whatever. Right? But what I do have is my contacts, but also I have my integrity, my passion, my drive, and my want to help you. My want, right? My want is to help you. My want is not to get something out of it. Yeah, if I monetize it and, something happens and a membership comes of it, great. But you know what? I want people to walk away of any engagement they have with me saying, he's not a bad bloke, number one. Number two, he's keen to listen. And number three, he wants to help. And people say to me, Paul, why do you want to help me? I said, because I want to help you better yourself, or I want your business to grow, or I want your business to network with other organizations and benefit out of it. And they go, well, what can I give to you? I don't want any. Seriously, 99% of the time, I don't need anything.
It's a lovely free way to do business, isn't it?
It's free, totally. I walk away and I look at my day and I think to myself, all right, well, I haven't done any work, but what I have done is connected A to B, C to D. I've put on an event, made 100 people happy. Number three, I got, Greg, a photo with the Premier of New South Wales, and he's walked away satisfied. He's going to put it on social media. To me, that's my KPI for the day. Right? Even though it's after 3 cappuccinos is my KPIs. If I have 3 cappuccinos, it's got me through the day,
All right, Chief, there we have it for this week with your mini Chief episode. All the links and resources for the episode can be found at chiefmaker.com/382. Chiefs, are you looking for the most practical, high-impact coaching program? One where you not only get coached, but also meet a big group of about 20 other senior executives, sort of like your personal advisory board for career and life. It's an annual executive coaching program. We meet twice a month and we cover a lot of the big topics and the individual challenges you face in your job and your life every day. If you want to know more, go to chiefmaker.com/Council of Chiefs. And if you would like to stay in touch and hear all about some of the best resources that you can find anywhere in the world to improve your performance at work, go to chiefmaker.com/subscribe. Now, Chief, if you're yet to rate the episode and subscribe, I hope you'll do so soon. It helps others see the magnificent value that the chiefs and gurus bring to their life and career. So make sure you hit subscribe on your podcast app now, give it a 5-star rating if you think it's worthy, and leave a short review about your favourite episode. Righto, Chiefs, as always, remember to stay